morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaka Yamada on this day, Sunday, the 4th of April, or the 23rd of February in the 9th year of Chongalguk. We're now in our 12th day of our second 40-day condition. So let's offer a bow to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Chariot. Kyombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge in both Korean and English. Thank you.
가정멘세 4. 천일국 주인, 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심으로 하늘 부모님의 찬조 이사인 현주의 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity and happiness by centering on true love. And I'd like to ask Catherine in New Zealand if she'd like to offer our opening prayer. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, our most beloved Heavenly Parents, our most beloved True Parents, heaven, earth and humankind. We sincerely thank you for your loving heart and for your guidance always. Thank you that we can come together this morning on Easter Sunday, together with our brothers and sisters throughout this region of Oceania. We remember this time when our true father was praying sincerely from the bottom of his heart Easter Sunday in 1935 on the mountain in Korea. And he took on this mission to absolutely comfort our Heavenly Parent's heart and to restore this position that he wanted in them in the very beginning when he created everything. We have so much to thank our parents, to Father, to Mother, and for each one that is so special also, that we come together this time to understand each other's hearts and to understand how we can help our parents in their vision for 2027. And this is a starting point for each one of us. We thank you sincerely for this time that we get to be together, and that as we listen to the words that we have today through my mother's words in her book, Mother, we can understand her heart deeply also. We offer this time back to you with our heart of gratitude always, as we pray in all the plans, all the blessings and families gathered here this morning. Together, Arju.
Arju. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And let's welcome Reverend Yutaka as he shares Hundok with us. Thank you.
And I think Reverend John better check your mic or speaker. Some howling a little bit. And now it's okay, maybe.
Yeah, it was not my side. It was
maybe on the other side. Okay. Good morning, our brothers and sisters. And also happy Easter Sunday. Today is the Easter Sunday, right? So this 4-day is actually important time. Our Good Friday and Holy Saturday, Easter Sunday, and the Easter Monday. How about your time? How you are spending time those 4 days now? And also now time period is changing. Everyone adjust your time. This summer saving to this new adjustment. And you are here, meaning is already you adjust well. So today is Easter Sunday, and basically Friday and Sunday, all Christian go to church and really think about our Jesus. And there is a tradition about Easter egg hunt. Did you do Easter egg hunt? Maybe children time? You don't do anymore in the adult time? And also there is Easter bunny also, right? Not so much. And the hot cross bun, some special bread we will eat Friday. So now we are following together with our true parents, and we are learning, and we are even receiving the blessing from our true parents. And even yesterday we finished successfully our second generation blessing workshop, and they really inspired and now prepared to apply the blessing. And some is also prepared of Father Johnson and determination more. So we can see the many hope. And now we are reading the True Mother's autobiography. And now we are going to read about True Parents' Holy Wedding time period. But there is the things we should not forget. This is our Jesus life. Even we are here together with true parents, but in order for true parents to come this world, heavenly parents prepare 2,000 years and 4,000 years through Israelite. And finally, heavenly parents send the Jesus here as the begotten Son, and through heavenly parents prepare the all providence. And Jesus was knowing everything and to try his best and to sacrifice and talk with people in Jewish and try to welcome begotten daughter at that moment for holy wedding. But finally, because of lack of understanding and the ignorance of those persons at that moment, finally Jesus could not fulfill, and Jesus went the second providence to going to the cross and to going to the spiritual world. But because Jesus protected that the foundation of the Messiah, that's why because of that, the Father could come to the earth, and also the Mother could be here as the begotten daughter to going to the holy wedding. That's why during the 2000 time period, how about Jesus' life? And also how is the foundation from that moment until now of the Christians' sacrifice and also investment by our heavenly parents. So today is the Easter Sunday. We have to remember again, pray again our Jesus' heart and life and sacrifice. Then all heart and condition is connected to the true parents and connected to our era, and we can restore back our all Christian people, Christian foundation, Christian spiritual world, and to bring back to our heavenly parents and true parents. So please pray again deeply, and when you share today, maybe you can share some memory or realization together with Jesus. This is also a good day today. So let's see the next part. Only holy wedding, our holy wedding ceremony. Jesus was born to humankind 2,000 years ago. God intended that Jesus find his bride and that they would stand in the position of Adam and Eve, who are lost at the very beginning of human history. Together, Jesus and his bride were to have grown to attain the position of true parents, providing living examples of a true husband and wife, parents and family. However, God's hope for Jesus and Israel was not realized. The dream and ideal of true parents, this itself was already existed from the beginning of the history, centering on Adam and Eve, and also the Jesus time. How much heavenly parents wish Jesus, and Jesus himself, how much he wished to fulfill together with bride, together with family, and together with Israelites, and together with our heavenly parents. But that moment he could not fulfill, and those hope was postponed until next time of the true parents. The Lord went a secondary course, dying for us on the cross. We cannot imagine how devastated he must have been. When Jesus returns, his priority is to find the bride, with whom he will create a true family, society, nation, and world. Through the true parents, the sorrows of heaven and earth can be alleviated, and the victorious foundation for God's ideal world can be laid. In this providence, the prophesied marriage supper of the Lamb, the day of our holy wedding, was a turning point, the day when God won his victory and recovered his lost glory. Furthermore, this was a day of joy for humankind, as it inaugurated a new history in which all can live together, not only with their true father, but also with their true mother. We could really think about our Jesus' life. He should have found the bride, but at that moment, even parents could not recognize, and Jesus' brothers and sisters could not recognize, and relative, and even disciple could not recognize, could not unite, could not support. All people stand to oppose Jesus and also God's will. That's why Jesus went to the second providence. So when we think about today's Easter day, what kind of meaning or what kind of heart there is behind of this Easter day? There is the happy moment of Jesus or a sorrowful moment of Jesus. This day, there is the feeling or there is a heart of Jesus' agony. There is painful and the suffering and sorrowful heart. But in the same time, there is Jesus' heart to connect this old heart to the next second coming. That's why this moment is not only just Easter, Christian, some celebration day. We could realize and we could connect our Jesus heart. So actually our history of Christianity is not started by the cross. This Christian history was started by the resurrection. That's why true parents did the providence in the beginning of the 2000 years. We have to put down the cross from the church. So when go to the Middle East area, the Jerusalem, the Christianity, Jewish, and Muslim gathered together. All leader, or all disciple, or member of those three religious group gathered together. Then we did the liberation ceremony of Jesus, crowning ceremony of Jesus, and liberation ceremony of the Jesus Christ. Maybe some of you went to Jerusalem. Have you been to Jerusalem that moment? Yeah, many of you. So that time really, because true parents, the one who really understand the Jesus heart, so try to liberate together with Jewish people, together with Christian people, and together with Muslim people. So now True Parents is going through the similar way to going to the bottom of bottom, almost die life and this situation and suffering way in order to liberate the peoples. When True Parents arrive and appear on this earth, this day become the new hope and the new beginning of the history of human beings. At the age of 15, Sam Myung-moon received his mission from Jesus Christ on Mount Myodu. This is also the Easter day. It was a mission that would bring him severe hardship. It led him to study in Japan and to teach God's word in North Korea after Korea's independence, where he would face life-threatening hardship and unspeakable suffering. Communist Party officials and police cruelly tortured him to the brink of death. Tossed out as a lifeless body, he revived and continued his mission, only to be arrested once again and sent to a forced labor camp near the city of Hunnam. It was only the arrival of UN troops that saved him from execution there. When True Father was 15 years old at the Easter morning, True Father met the Jesus. True Father himself also thinking and suffering and thinking the agony of the people. Why people have to be suffer? Why people's life is like this? If God is existing, why this world is like this? Why God didn't save them? During the prayer time, serious prayer time, Jesus appeared and Jesus showed his heart, share his heart, and he asked him, please inherit this mission and please liberate our parents, our heavenly parents. So True Father decided that his mission, he was aware he was aware he was the Messiah, second coming, and he determined to start his mission as the Messiah. So this Easter day actually important moment, not only Jesus Christ, but also our starting point of our True Father as the mission, as the new missions. So we could realize, and our True Mother also, when she was 16, 17 years old, similar age, she herself also accepted and so determined to be the begotten daughter and to become the mother of peace and to become the true mother. With two of his followers, he headed south to begin his ministry again, aimed at the clash of communist soldiers and UN troops. They were among the last to cross the frozen Imjin River into South Korea, and from there they walked hundreds of kilometers to the southern part of the peninsula. After planting his church in Busan, he settled in Seoul. Yet his trial continued, and once again he was imprisoned, this time by the South Korean government. This course of hardship, during which time he relentlessly focused on teaching many new members about God and the mission of the Messiah, was the course he had to pass through to meet the only begotten daughter, prepared by God, and to hold the marriage supper of the Lamb. After came out from Hunnam prison by supporting from the UN troop, he went down to the end of Korean Peninsula, Busan, and started the New Providence, and also went to Seoul and opened the Unification Church, then started the providence of unification movement. But even that moment, he went to the prison again and suffering and torturing life. So all contents and all foundation and all providence is actually preparation for the holy wedding and the foundation to meet and find the begotten daughter, the heavenly bride, our true mother. That's why in order to welcoming this day to the holy wedding ceremony, how severe battle between heaven side and Satan side was happened. We could see those situation. That's why this is a true Father's word. The Bible states that in the last day, the Messiah will come and conduct the marriage supper of the Lamb, at which time a man and woman join together as husband and wife, forging a bond of God's lineage. Once they emerge as a true parent of humankind, Satan cannot continue to exist. These two people, a man and woman who are bonded to God's lineage, are the embodiments of God and Father and the Mother, and God's original internal character and original external form. The true parents of humankind are motivated by God's love and moved by the power of God's life. When they join together in complete union, God's love, life, and lineage will be coursing through them. Each becomes the owner of the other with their position constantly changing. The man in the position of the women and the women in the position of the man at the point the seeds of life, namely their descendants, will be connected to God. This is the ideal of creation, but due to the fall, this ideal was shattered. In order to recover the lost ideals of creation, true parents need to recover all that was lost. In doing so, true parents represent all creation, represent humankind, and represent our heavenly parent. This is the essence of the providence of salvation. So this is from Jeonseongyang, talking about the marriage supper of Lamb. So how and what kind of meaning this holy wedding we could recognize and understand about through the true parents' word. The holy wedding and the restoration of true family as the fulfillment of God's ideal creation. So ideal of creation realizing true families. This one cannot fulfill only by one person, cannot fulfill only by begotten Son. In order to fulfill, we need true parents and also true families. Restoring heaven's family. Failure of second Adam Jesus. Then the holy wedding as the marriage supper of the Lamb, of the only begotten Son and only begotten daughter. So actually this failure, also this word is really so much painful word, because Jesus himself, he did his best and sacrificed and invested everything. But because of foundation, because of the person who are there that moment, could not fulfill, could not recognize, could not unite. That's why he could not fulfill the first providence and going to the second providence. But finally, he could not fulfill that time. That's why when we think again, when we remind about Jesus' heart, really painful or sadness moment, how much Jesus' heart was that time, so much painful. The holy wedding as the marriage supper of the Lamb, of the only begotten Son and only begotten daughter. So only begotten Son come here as the groom, and only begotten daughter come here as the bride. Marriage supper of the Lamb. If the first human beings had not fallen, they would have born sons and daughters without original sin, and established a family that could directly enter the kingdom of heaven in heaven. They would have stood as the true parents. Their family would have been one with God. Their sons and daughters would have been the offspring of God's family. However, the first family in Genesis did not fulfill the will to establish their family. That is why in the book of Revelation, St. John raised the issue of establishing the bride and the bridegroom. This is also Champmogyon's True Parents word. The 2000-year history of Christianity is the history of the search for the bride. Suppose that when Jesus came to earth as God's only begotten Son, he had not died on the cross. Since he was God's only begotten Son, God surely would have sent his only begotten daughter to him. God has searched for 2000 years to find the bride. Jesus emerged as the true Son, but there is no mention of the true daughter anywhere in the Bible. That is why God's will was not realized. The purpose of the 2000-year history of Christianity has therefore been to find God's daughter. The Holy Spirit came as God's daughter. So this is also the Champmogyon word. So you can go back to Champmogyon and read and also understand how much the role and the God's plan was there even in Jesus' time to send his only begotten daughter as the bride of our Jesus. And True Mother also shared a message. Members of the early Unification Church endured bitter ordeal together with Father Moon. As the year 1960 approached, they were filled with indescribable hope. Father Moon was turning 40, and he had prophesied that this would be the year of the holy wedding of God's first son and daughter, the only begotten son and only begotten daughter, and that promise was fulfilled. At the Chompadon Church at 4 a.m. in the morning on March 27, 1960, the first day of the third lunar month, when spring was in full bloom, Father Moon and I held our historic engagement ceremony. So 1960, March 27, this is March 1st lunar calendar. This time the engagement ceremony. So first, True Parents had the engagement ceremony, then later Holy Wedding ceremony. So that day, engagement ceremony was held. We had invited 40 men and 40 women to witness the ceremony, but members wishing to see us had come in great numbers, and the small church was packed to overflowing. The engagement ceremony, held in two parts, was conducted in a holy atmosphere. It concluded with Father Moon's benediction, reporting the profound meanings of the ceremony to heaven and earth, the 6,000-year history of humankind. He prayed was the anguished course necessary to receive the true parents. That Jesus could not become the true parents was the sorrow of all people. But the day of our engagement ceremony was a blessed day that finally received that sorrow. So this moment is finally relieved that sorrow. This blessing engagement ceremony was really the historical day. 15 days after the engagement ceremony at 10 a.m. on April 11, 1960, the 16th day of the third month by the lunar calendar, we conducted the Holy Wedding. 700 or so members chosen from our churches across Korea gathered at Chompadon Church to attend this splendid event, long awaited by our Heavenly Parent, because even more members flocked to attend the holy wedding than the engagement ceremony. The church was overflowing, and those who could not enter the building filled the alleyway beside it. The atmosphere was nonetheless solemn and relevant. So 1960, some of you attended this ceremony in Chompadong? Nobody? Too early, right? 1960 maybe too early for us. So but 1960, historical moment there was happened in Korea, Chompadong Church. That time 700 or more than that. Many people came to that place. So the person who visited the Chompadong Church, you can imagine that place is not big. Maybe 200 people or 150 people could enter, I think. But more than 700 people visited that place. How much crowded. And also this ceremony was happened at the early morning, 4 a.m. You know why? Because Christian churches or police or still many kind of persecution or difficulty was happened. That's why Satan tried to stop even this wedding ceremony. So to the parents, try to do quickly this holy wedding historical moment. And even one day before, later also we can read, to the father was called by police, and he was there under the police. That's why in order to having this one moment, actually not simple event, even severe or challenging situation in the battle between God and Satan, and finally he could offer and proceed this moment. The small chapel of the church was decorated beautifully and meaningfully for the occasion. The walls and floor were covered with white cloth, and the platform was set up to the left of the door. Dressed in a long white skirt and top, with a long veil covering my head, I walked down the stairs from the second floor, arm in arm with the bridegroom, as members sang a holy song of the banquet. All in attendance warmly welcomed us, and the holy wedding ceremony thus commenced. The first ceremony of the holy wedding was held in Western style clothing, and the second ceremony was held in the traditional Korean style clothing, complete with robes and headdress. So you can see this one. So first and second, this Western style and the Korean style holy wedding ceremony was held in Chompadong Church that time. So we can imagine Heavenly Parents' love and wish, hope is imaged there. And true parents, embrace Western society, Eastern society together as the true parents, not only for Korea, not only for some area. True parents came here for whole human beings, including ancestor and including for the future generation and spiritual world. So this moment is really the hope and the historical moment we could recognize and we can testify. So today is the Easter day. Today is Easter Sunday. We could feel, we could pray for Jesus, and even Jesus' hope and wish was fulfilled, centering on our true parents and centering on our true parents' holy wedding ceremony. So today we could see the whole event behind of the Easter, behind of our Jesus' hope, and behind of our Heavenly Parents' preparation toward holy wedding ceremony. So today when we'll spend the time, please pray once again Please imagine again and how much true parents' wishes and heavenly parents' wishes and Jesus' wishes was there in Holy Wedding Ceremony. So today also, thank you very much for joining Hundoke. Today is a great day, and really we will comfort and we will put our heart, our Jesus, our heavenly parents and true parents, and let's create and begin the new day. Thank you very much, everyone. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Reverend Yutaka. Thank you. Yes, wow. Excuse me. So welcome everyone. Wow, it's as always so much heart and love that Reverend Yutaka is sharing with us with the life of our true mother and true father, and this time of Easter, you know, to recognize how much Jesus sacrificed. Growing up as a Greek Orthodox, you know, Easter is the main event on the calendar for, and it's always a big event, and yeah, as Reverend Yutaka said, the main feeling during that time is one of sadness. It's only when the 4 days are over that there's the celebration, you know, of the resurrection and new life and the hope given. But yeah, that time period is always sad. And I remember, being, as a child, being caught up with the celebrations because Easter's fun. You know, there's Mum would make all the special Greek food, and we don't have an Easter egg hunt, by the way. We have red eggs that we hold, and we go around and smash each other's eggs to see which egg will last, and then that will be the symbol of good fortune for the year. And you'd keep that egg. We would keep the egg till next Easter and bring it out and then try. And sometimes that egg would still survive and we put it back, but many times another one would win and we put that instead. So yeah, I experienced a lot of joy and sadness during Easter time, because I would always think, well, it doesn't make sense. You know, why should he die? But then Dad would explain, well, that's what he had to do to save our sins. And I just accept that. But I still, you know, could watch everyone be very sad, because in the church, everything is covered during the days. You know, they cover it with cloth and you don't see any of the icons. There's many icons, but then there's this procession at midnight where all the flowers of in a way like the coffin of Christ would be taken, and we'd walk around the entire church and bring it back, and then all the little kids would crawl underneath as like an added blessing. So Easter was always very eventful, but when joining the church, and I was in England, and one Easter day, I was fundraising, and I came past probably the largest image of Jesus I ever saw. It was the entire wall of a church was painted with the cross of Jesus and Jesus hanging on the cross, and I was, wow. and I looked at that cross, and it, yeah, and because joining and I felt overwhelmed and just sorry that, you know, he had to do that he had to go the alternate course because no one accepted him. And I often reflected, if I was there, would I have done the same? Would I have been caught up with the people, or would I have stood my ground. Yes, in my mind and heart, I said I would stand my ground, but I don't know if I would have done that if I was actually there, because so many people were afraid, and I don't know if I would have been afraid or not. And that is actually how Satan controls us, by keeping us ignorant and afraid, so we don't stand up. But that's why we need to know the truth, so we're not ignorant and we overcome the fear, and then we can really be victorious. And that's the time we're at now. Easter time is the time to celebrate the beginning of the mission of our true parents. And I'm sorry that Father had to take where Jesus left off. Jesus left off on the cross, and then Father had to go to the cross many times to be able to inherit, so that it could then move forward and be victorious. So yes, so let's celebrate and also remember at the same time. All right, thank you, and let's open up and share with each other. Who would like to? Yeah, Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hardly contain myself to be able to share this information. When WFWP got started and True Mother rose to such a high level stage and prominence, it changed things in America, where people, especially from the Black churches, responded. They've always been the central clergy to respond to us, but many, they didn't really understand us unto True Family Values, unto WFWP. And we had gone through about 8 years, almost 10 years of incredible outreach and development. And then on the 20th anniversary in 2002 of the Washington Times, Father was able to speak to 3,000 of the Washington's most important leaders, really, and everyone was so excited to see True Mother. And all these people were there to hear True Father's speech. And True Father got up, and in this speech, he strongly declared, we must take down the cross. The shock was like so strong, so powerful. It rocked the world, actually. It rocked that room, And even many members were going, we were so close to these people. And then Father said something so shocking, as to take down the cross. And of course, we tried to follow Father, and many people, all our leaders, were working so hard to make this great transition and come up with the idea of replacing with a crown. So a lot of thinking was going on, a lot of developing, but it wasn't happening quick enough. So the amazing thing was that one day we woke up to the news that the big stone cross on top of the Unification Theological Seminary got hit by lightning. And the stone cross came crashing down in front of the Unification Theological Seminary. Well, that woke up our members, It really did. And from that inspiration, True Father then declared that we need to get 120 churches to take down their crosses. And upon finding the 120 churches that actually took down the cross inside their churches, they were then invited to Korea, and they formed the American Clergy Leadership Conference, which was the beginning of such an outreach that we've never seen before. Already we had the International and Interreligious Federation for World Peace, But with the ACLC coming to True Parents at that time, it was so really profound. And one of the important things was that they were such a key, important component in bringing reconciliation between the children of Abraham, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, you know, especially because of this. White Christians did so many wrong things in European history for 1700 years. Pogroms and ghettoization and work against the Jewish remnant, that Jews could not listen to a white person talk about Christ. It was impossible. But we discovered the amazing key was Black Christians, Black American Christians, the holders of the gospel in America. They could be heard. And it was those Black Christians that not only went to Korea, but Father then brought them to Israel almost immediately, you know, and opened up the Middle East Peace Initiative. So these leaders, they actually were there in only a short period of time, reconciling Jews, Christians, Muslim, and then Archbishop Stallings led them through signing a doctrine of reconciliation and apology to each other called the Jerusalem Doctrine. And they had ceremonies where they really spent time apologizing to each other and understanding more about Jesus. And the whole thing really started opening up. And then Father invited all 7 continents to come. And that's how we had the chance to go there. So reading this book and having this Easter story today on Easter Sunday, and all these preparations of true parents, true father and true mother happening is just absolutely mind-blowing. Even the other day I was saying a simple thing like this. Reverend Tanaka said, so many little simple things coming together. And as he was saying that, no sooner had he said it than we were reading a story of true mother on her way over the Han River to meet true father, to become the bride, you know. And it was like a transition point of a real moment in history. And even that was on page 77, which is a sort of a special number in understanding all these things, with mother being 77, 78 years old now. And we are, since 2020, in another incredible turning point. And all these things are tied together. It just doesn't end. So thank you so much for this 100K every day. That's all.
Do you want to unmute yourself?
Sorry, yes, I was muted myself and I was calling out people's names and no one could hear me. That happens. In New Zealand, go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. I am also so inspired. Just a brief sharing. True Father received his mission age 16, and had to go a suffering course for 14 years. And True Mother also received her mission at the age of 16. But she did a condensed course of suffering, 7 years and so forth. Yeah, that's really amazing. And now True Mother has to continue, completing the mission and responsibilities of true parents. Just to add on to John's, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I think I saw Chris had his hand up. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, everyone. Just a couple of small points for me. I remember hearing Mother say all of Christian history was to find me, the only begotten daughter. And I remember thinking at the time, boy, that's a pretty radical statement. I found it hard to reconcile, to be honest. And then we read this morning, the Father said exactly the same thing. So that was quite amazing. I'd never seen that quote by Father before, that all of Christian history was really to find the only begotten daughter or the bride. So that was something new for me. And just something else that, just to understand Jesus a little bit deeper, I don't know how many people know this, but Father actually had to go to Jesus and ask if he would come to the wedding, which would have been extremely difficult for him. And he did agree to do that. I think the wedding was contingent on whether Jesus could actually attend. So that's, you know, if you're forming a relationship with Jesus, just another small point to understand about what he had to go through, how hard it would have been for him to go to that wedding thinking this should have been me. So anyway, just something to be able to relieve part of his heart if you're making that relationship. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Silvana, go ahead.
I just want to share two experiences I had with Jesus. As a child, I didn't think much of Jesus. In the Catholic Church, there's lots of emphasis on Mary and all the saints, but I really believed in God, and God was everything to me. So every night I used to sit on my bed and say my prayers and talk to God and tell him what not, you know, everything that was happening to me. But this particular night, I was about 12 years old. Suddenly, I was sitting on my bed in the dark, and Jesus appeared to me right close to me. And this was not the Jesus of the images in the Catholic Church, which portray him as a very mild and gentle, blue eyes and blonde hair. This was a very strong look. I don't know how to say. He was looking through me, and suddenly the crown appeared on his head, and then his head went a little bit like this, and the blood was coming down, but he never stopped piercing through my eyes. I remember thinking, oh, he's calling me now, I'm going to die. I couldn't have cared less. And then the vision went, and I found myself still sitting on the bed, really hot, boiling hot. Anyway, I never told anyone this, and I didn't understand why would Jesus come to me until I met the church later on. But then the second time I experienced Jesus was actually during our 3-day ceremony. I had a vision. It wasn't even a dream, because we were just chilling in one afternoon, Peter and I, and suddenly I just went into the spiritual world. And then I saw Jesus with Hunjanim, who had gone to the spiritual world at the age of 17. They were both so sad. So they looked, they were walking side by side on this very barren land. It was a gray extension, how do you say it? A plain. There was no grass, no nothing, very, very gray. And they were walking very, very sad. And when I opened my eyes and I was still there, I thought, what just happened? And then I realized how they could never experience family life. Both Hunjanim and Jesus could never have their own family and their own children. And there we were, me and my husband, literally taken from the street and given this incredible blessing without any foundation, any doing of our own, purely by the grace of the true parents. I realized how already at the time it wasn't easy between us, but we realized, I shared this with Peter, how grateful, how incredibly grateful we should be for just the fact that we can have a family, and we can, yeah, that's it really. Thank you.
Thanks, Silvana. Ooh, that's actually time to do our prayer together. I'm sure lots of people want to say more, but we've actually gone past the time. We'll just, I'll share the screen to bring up so we can pray together. 1 second. Okay, let's begin. Aju, Aju, Aju. Thank you, everyone. And don't forget, today is the Peace Festival on. So it's on Easter Sunday, and we're offering the Peace Festival here at the Peace Embassy. Everyone welcome to come at 10:30. And so let's invest ourselves in celebrating. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day, and see you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. See you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Happy Easter. Bye.